Happy people, yeah, 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 keeps the world on. Happy people, yeah, yeah, keeps the world. Ooh. Gotta let the other GoPro charge, you know what I mean? What is poppin', you guys? It was a beautiful day. Feel good. You know what I'm saying? Woke up in the usual flurry of chaos with my blood sugar and whatnot. But we're gonna get that in order because I can't keep waking up like this. It's one thing, you know what I'm saying, to go out, have a good time, and be hungover, right? You know what I'm saying? And a hangover, it's like, I did this to myself. I can accept this misery. You feel me? I don't even have hangovers. I don't even know what that experience is like, right? So my closest instance to a hangover would have to be when my blood sugar gets low. I feel tired, I have a headache, I feel drained of my energy, I feel exhausted, I feel nauseous from time to time. Like, just, I don't feel like me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's probably, if I had to guess, how what's the word I'm looking for? How being drunk would feel. So with that in mind, let's just go back to a little topic that I brought up yesterday, and it was, what is your origin story? Now, we all got an origin story. We all come from somewhere. And yesterday we spoke on foundations, basically the roots, like, of what kind of make people who they are, you know, family, friends, morals, values, all these different things that kind of culminate to make you to who you are. So since we talked about foundation yesterday, today we're gonna talk about influence and the dangers in being influenced and the dangers of allowing oneself to be influenced, especially by the wrong people. Now, it takes a strong judge of character to be able to perceive when someone is purposely misleading you to something that could lead to your detriment. But it also takes another level of, how can I say, not disregard, that wouldn't be the word. Whatever, it'll come back to me. I'll be right back. I need to wash my hands because they smell like bleach. I ain't finna smoke a blunt with bleach on my fingertips. So yeah. You know what's crazy? I could record these videos on my main 2 cameras, but instead I choose to go for this GoPro because it's a lot easier to use. But back to our topic matter for today. So we're speaking on origin stories, and within the origin story, we're talking about influence and the dangers and the power behind one being an influencer, but then also being influenced. So let's take it back to the most earliest instance in most of our lives of being influenced or influenced, right? Parents. So typically kids grow in a way that's either, I want to say, in the middle along the way of the way their parents think, or they fall more so towards one or the other, right? And a lot of the times when with bigger families, you get a nice little mix and combination of different character traits. And you know, you hear family members be like, "Oh, you act like so and so. Oh, you are," you know what I'm saying? And that's because they took a strong influence from that party. Now, it could be a lot of things that led to them being influenced by that person. It doesn't necessarily have to be something negative. It doesn't necessarily have to be something positive. But hold up, my bad. Let me type this up real quick, and then I'll get back to my topic. What is get that up. Okay, so yeah, now let's get back into it. What was I saying? Yes, influence. So, and I was speaking on big families. Typically, you know what I'm saying, when you have bigger families and more kids and whatnot, you can kind of see where who and what people and kids take certain influences from. Now, influence can be both a beautiful thing, but also a very detrimental thing, and it's a bit more dependent upon the person receiving the influence. So, for instance, right, if you take let's see, a stoic, hardworking male who's probably like 20, 24, 25, you know what I'm saying, doesn't really care about hanging out, friends, and just a social life for the most part. He just sticks to himself. He has goals he's trying to accomplish, and he's minding his business, right? This is the type of person that would more so be influenced by the interaction of another person who's fueled by the same thing or something similar. So, like, let's say I was this person in this example, right? And I'm busting my ass. I'm going to school. I'm studying all the time. I'm not hanging out. Yeah, I smoke and drink a little bit here and there, but that's all to myself, to celebrate for myself type vibe. And I don't really care about parties. Don't really care about being in the mix. The only thing I care about, get my education, graduate, and taking care of my people, right? So, one time, me in this instance, the one time I decide to let me step out of my zone. Let's go to one of these social networking events, right? And again, this is all hypothetically speaking. I'm a guy who's extra hardworking in school, working a job, and still doing all this extra shit on the side right now. But I'm trying to break y'all into a mind frame of the power of influence, right? Now I'm gonna break this down in two ways. So again, you heard everything I said, right? That culminates within this guy, right? The things that drive him, his motives, his values, right? But influence can be driven in so many different narratives and ways, right? So let's say you're the guy. I'm gonna take myself out the picture because I don't want to feel like I'm talking about me. But let's say you're the guy, right? And you decide you're finna go to this networking event that some of your classmates may have invited you to. They felt like you would benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? They don't really see you out too much. They're like, hey, yo, we feel like this might be something you might enjoy. Da, da, da. Okay, so boom, you take the bait. You're influenced to go. You end up there. So you get there, you're kind of nervous, kind of shy. You don't really know what's going on. You don't really know too many faces because you don't socialize. You don't get out too much. Boom. This random, beautiful woman walks up and introduces herself to you. Now, immediately, I don't care who you are or where you are or what you're doing. If you in a big room filled with a bunch of people and you don't really know too much or know anybody for the most part, and some random stranger walks up to you, introduce themselves, and starts talking to you, you're gonna become a certain level of comfortable or scared. But most people, because they're already in a angst type of state, because they're in an unfamiliar area, they're looking for some kind of familiarity or someone that would make them feel a bit more comfortable. And boom. So, gentleman standing to his side, looking around, minding his business, cup in his hand, just trying to peep game, see what's going on. Chick comes up, like, hey, how you doing? My name is XYZ. Boom, he introduces himself. Boom. So they start talking. Basically, by the end of it, our male has gotten to a point where he's basically doing things he never would have done before, right? He's staying out longer than he usually would. He's not paying attention to his surroundings like he usually would. He's being pulled into the things that he tried to steer so clear from. And again, this goes back to the power of influence. The law of attraction works very powerfully with things that are juxtaposed or opposing or opposites, whatever you want to fucking call it. Things that don't fit on the same spectrum, they tend to cling and vibe and claw towards the other. So like, for instance, take our gentleman, for example. Quiet, stoic, to himself in school, hardworking, hustling, doing his thing. He stays to himself. The one time he goes to a social gathering, an event or whatever, boom, let's just say, I don't know, there was a fight that broke out, right? There was a fight that broke out. And I'm only giving examples. I'm only giving examples because I want to break down the power of influence and how it can be used in very different ways. So, all right. A fight breaks out. Our guy's still talking to the chick. They're having a good conversation. Everything seemed to be going well. But due to the nature of their conversation, he's lost. He's not paying attention to all the chaos that's ensuing going on around, right? Boom, you hear door slam open. You see people running out, everybody's trying to get out the building. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody's running. So, within this whirlwind of chaos, right? Our guy is not used to this. This is not the type of world that he's used to, right? And now he's been thrusted / influenced to, one, come here by other people, but then two, a girl who caught his interest led him to stay longer than he intended to, thus being influenced and indulging in the conversation even more, leading to him now being stuck in a situation that could either end up very unpleasantly or, you know, it could go either way. It's out of his hand. And things are in motion, right? So everybody's running, everybody's trying to get to an exit, everybody's trying to get out the door. Boom! You hear a gunshot. All right. He looks back, doesn't notice, he doesn't feel like he was hit, right? Boom! Hear another gunshot. He makes it out the door. He's looking around, where's the chick I was talking to? Right? Boom. But notices a blood trail on the ground, so he can't think about the chick because he's trying to figure out, is this blood coming from him, right? And so he gets outside, takes a seat on the ground, pulls up his jacket, realize he was hit, right? And again, I'm using this dark example to help you understand that if you're going to be influenced by anything, or just if you're going to be influenced by anyone, make sure the things that they do and the things that they represent add up to things that represent you and values that you associate with as well. Because in this whole little story I just gave, right, a dude lost his life on the off chance of him stepping outside and breaking away from his routine, right? He just wanted to go try. Let me see what life is like over here on the other side, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me see what people are always talking about. Let me go indulge in the world, you know? And he was influenced by classmates, and later that night he was influenced to stay a little bit later than what he intended to carry a conversation with a woman that, you know, he had fallen for, or he had started gaining feelings for. And then within that, he's an innocent person in this whole situation. But because of the location and the setting and the place that he was at, and him not paying attention to his surroundings as he usually would, because he was indulgent. He was lost. He was influenced. He was focused. His mind wasn't where it always is when he's moving around. No, he was focused on the mission at hand, and that mission was trying to get anywhere he could with that woman at that point. You know, this is a new lifestyle for him. This is new. He don't go out like that, and some random woman just starts talking to him, introducing himself to him. He's excited. He's influenced by the chance and the thrill that he has an opportunity, you know? And so now panic sets in, right? If you ever been anywhere where there was gunshots fired and you had to run for your life, you know that feeling of checking your body to make sure you good. Like, you know the feeling. You gonna pat yourself down, nigga. You gonna triple, quadruple every damn thing. Like, all that. You gonna make sure. And so, basically, I don't want to go too much further into that because I don't want to keep getting darker. But moral of the story is, trust. First off, moral of the story is, if you're going to be influenced again by things that align with the way you feel, the way you think, the way you love, the way you grow, and try to stay away from anything that doesn't agree with you right here, right? If someone's telling you something, or telling you about a place, or telling you about a person, and it makes you feel unsettling within this area, don't go for that. Because influence, influence is I would say is the opposite of instinct. Because instinct is something you naturally know to do, right? And influence is something you're taking from someone else and applying to yourself to do, right? So they're juxtaposing. They're on two different sides of the same coin, right? So, damn, I forgot where I was going with that, but instinct. Your instinct's always gonna warn you, right? Your instinct's always gonna tell you, nah, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be here. This don't sit right with you. No. Your instinct is always gonna scream and tell you no. That voice in the back of your head should be your best motherfucking friend. And I say that because I've personally been in situations where I've been influenced by other people, not listening to my motherfucking conscience telling me, screaming out to me to run, to walk away. But I chose to keep listening, being influenced by another party versus trusting what self was telling me, what my natural instincts was telling me was for the better. I trusted someone else instead of myself. And within this particular situation, I mean, I ain't gonna say too much to incriminate anyone, but I damn near watched a friend almost lose his life over something stupid and simple. And I would have been right there with him. Why? Because I was influenced. And my mentality, based on my foundations, my origin story, how I was brought up, if you my people, I'm a ride or die for you. If you one of my friends, you one of my family, anybody got smoke with you, they got smoke with me, and it's up. I don't care who it is or what it's about. I'm on your side. So they got beef with you, they got beef with we. You feel me? And that's just kind of what the situation was at that point in time. Now, granted, let me just give a little brief background on me. Never have I been like someone with a whole bunch of enemies or whatever. I always got along pretty well with, for the most part, everybody I came into contact with. Most people fuck with me. The few that don't, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I don't really care. But it's very few. And with this particular situation, somebody I know had got robbed by somebody. Had some shit happened. Hit XYZ. Basically, I let my homie influence me to tag along for a mission. We ain't gonna go into details on this mission, but safe to say, shit could have went left. I could be dead, he could be dead, and things could be a whole lot worse than what they are today. And that's all because influence versus instinct, and me allowing my mentality to be strung along because of my morals and my support and my mentality could have led to me no longer being here, right? And my instincts was screaming to me, run. No, don't go. Don't do this. No. Instinct screaming, no. But my heart is like, this is my bro. You gotta ride for your homies. But what are you gonna do in a moment where you trying to ride for your homies, but your homies ain't riding for you? Or what you gonna do when you down and out and you need a call? Now, all these people that done called you, you know what I'm saying? You can't call them back. Then what? You gotta look back within you, right? What's your origin story? What makes you who you are? What drives you? What is it that you love? What is it that makes you wake up and want to chase after another day in life? What is it that fuels you to be the best version of you that you can be? And we all have things that we're influenced by. So don't take influence as just like a negative, I'm using it as like a negative word or anything, but understand the type of influence that you allow to guide you, mislead you, or whatever the case may be. Just understand where that influence is coming from, and then focus on if this influence is something that aligns with your way of thinking, or aligns with your morals, or align with your standard on love, whatever the case may be. Just double back and question, does this sit right with me here? I'm listening to this person's words, but is it sitting right with me here? Like, can I confidently trust what they're saying? You know what I'm saying? And feel like there's no malicious or ill intent behind it, right? Or what's another way to describe it? Or do I just take it all with a grain of salt and keep it moving? So many times in life, we go through phases. We go through different metamorphoses like a fucking butterfly. Butterflies, they got one life, right? Well, I would say 3. But humans, we're so lucky because we're constantly advancing and evolving every year. Unlike, personally, I feel like any other animal in the animal kingdom, we evolve. Our conscious grows stronger. Our understanding of things become better with each passing year. Like, if I sat down with myself from 7 years old, right, and the 7-year-old me had a conversation with the 27-year-old me, right? I'm more than positive that conversation would go with the younger version of me asking 10 million questions, the older version of me basically looking at him and feeling like he can get some entertainment out of this. So, yeah, he's gonna lead him astray for his own entertainment. And that's just me. But I'm not saying everybody is like that, and I'm not saying I do that to everybody, but I was just giving that example. Because I know how annoying I was at the age of 7. So just me dealing with a younger version of me to an older version of me, yeah, I purposely mislead that little motherfucker just for aggravating me. But that's just me. That's just me. That's just me. That's just me. On me. Now, again, come to family and friends, I do nothing but give my family and friends the best possible advice, even when I don't even have the best possible advice for my damn self. They come to me with something, I'm going to try to let them know the best way to approach it, because everybody needs some help, everybody needs somebody, and with all this conflict in the world, everybody need at least somebody, they can come to and depend on at some point. And I ain't trying to be that person for everybody, but the people that I am that for, I'm gonna make sure that they understand where my heart, my morals, my my influence, my goals, where all that aligns. And if it's not for the betterment of seeing me, them, and everyone else that I care about do better, then I'm wasting my time, and that's not me. The thing that influenced me the most growing up was watching my father, right? And I watched my dad take care of my family, wake up every morning, cook breakfast for me, my mom, my brother, got our clothes ready for school or my mom for work, made sure we was all ready to go at a certain point in time and out the door. Through all that, through whatever the fuck he may have been going through or struggling with, not once did I ever hear that man complain. Not once did I ever hear him talk about what he didn't have or couldn't get. Not once did I hear him make an excuse. And because of that, I'm influenced to be a similar way, and even to my detriment, right? Because I didn't understand my father as well as I would have liked to know what led him to, I didn't know my father's origin story well enough, you know what I'm saying? To know what led to him being so stoic and maybe just to himself. Like, I don't know, I can't answer that. But I know the things that have kind of molded me into being similarly minded in certain fashions and instances have just been the trials that I've been through in life with not just people, but jobs and experiences. And, everything takes a toll on you. We all human. We're all influenced in different ways. We all grow in different ways. We all understand in different ways. And we all break in different ways. My father showed me that even at your absolute lowest, there is no room for breaking. Because the world doesn't show pity to a black man. The world doesn't care that you're a 63-year-old black man who has dementia and you forgot to pay for something. The world don't care about that. They just see you as another nigga doing what niggas do. And that's what they gonna critique and chastise you as. Be it the truth or be it not. And I give that example because I watched my father break down at 63 in tears because he forgot to pay for some shit inside of a store, right? And what that told me, right, was that my father cared so much about, one, himself, but two, what other people thought of him enough that, you know what I'm saying, He literally broke down in tears inside of a Winn-Dixie because he couldn't believe, he couldn't fathom that he had just did that. And he couldn't understand why. He don't know why he was influenced that way. And again, influence is a powerful thing, right? And I don't know, maybe if my dad didn't smoke cigarettes, that situation would have never happened. But maybe it would have played out in another way. But overall, the thing is, growing up, the world has molded me and showed me to realize that there's no true sympathy for my kind. So at least let me have a heart to be kind enough and care for my kind. So my purpose with these videos is to reach a brother, teach a brother, meet a brother, and help us all understand that we all in this shit together, you know what I'm saying? We may come from different sides of the world, different, you know, backgrounds, whatever, but we're all in this shit together, dog. Like, at the end of the day, if your skin color anything like mine, upon initial interaction, I'ma see you as friend or family, you know what I'm saying? And that's just naturally how I was brought up. But to close this out, be careful of who and what you allow to influence your moral compass, your love life, and your friend circle. Make sure the people that you have in your life that you consider a friend, you feel equally strong about as you would your family. Because you trust your family, right? You would hope your family would never do wrong by you. You would hope they would always have your best interest in mind. So when it comes to friends, you should want the same thing. And if you feel like, you know what I'm saying, somebody don't agree with the way you think or this, or, you know what I'm saying, y'all just don't click like that, there's nothing wrong with that. You do you, let them be them. Don't be influenced by them, and don't let them be influenced by you. But always go back to your origin story, right? Remember your foundation, remember your roots, remember what made you who you are, the people who are in your life consistently to help you understand things the way you do. Go back to that. And within that, ask yourself, am I doing what it is that I want to do? Not just for me, right? But for all the cousins and family and future kids I want, and XYZ that's looking up to me. Am I doing what I want to do for them? Or am I wasting time chasing something for somebody else? Being influenced by somebody else, chasing another person's dream when I could be working and doing for me. So that's all for today. I guess you can say influence, the power of influence. It can be both a beautiful thing, creatively and destructively, you know. So, within closing, I just want to say, if you're going to be influenced by people, again, make sure the things you're paying attention to fits to the things that you were brought up into, and there are things that you align with. Don't be influenced by just anyone and anything, and don't allow the world to lead you astray, because that's what it's meant to do. Stay focused, stay humble, stay hungry, and most of all, do your thing and focus on you. Once you get to a place where you've achieved what you feel your dream and goal is, then you can double back and help other people. But until then, Don't be influenced. Focus on you. And if you are influenced, let it be something of you. Let it be from a mind frame of where you want to be, so it can guide you and lead you in the right direction. If it don't agree with you here, it's not gonna agree with you here. And yeah, that's all. Hope you all have a beautiful day. Hope you guys appreciate the videos. I appreciate you guys coming back and checking on them every day. So again, peace, love, positivity. It's your boy, SK Visuals. And we out. Deuces.